This evening we saw two new squad builder challenges released, free if you're on Xbox. So the main two are the new league SBCs that were released. One of them was for La Liga and one of them was for the Scottish Premier League. Now, if you'd invested previously, you're either A, going to complete this challenge for ridiculously cheap and then make a huge chunk of that money back from the packs and have a 94 rated Suarez, or, on the other hand, you're going to sell off all the players you invested in for next to nothing and then make a small fortune off the investments. So what we're going to look at here is planning ahead and having stuff ready for when future squad builder challenges come along. As you can see here, I've just quickly made one of the first teams in the Bundesliga. If we're building it very basic in a 4-4-2, then you need two silver centre mids, a silver left back and a goalkeeper. These are the players you're going to want to invest in, the ones that are a lot rarer to get hold of. We bought this guy ages ago for 850 just to prepare. If we have a quick look now, you can pick him up for 500 coins. He's even cheaper than when I bought him and I invested in him ages ago. So this makes sense to do. Going around the Bundesliga, going around the Premier League, going around the Italian First Division, so Serie A, and just completing all the teams. On average, it's going to cost you about 150,000 to complete each of them, excluding the bigger clubs that we now know EA are going to require a lot more players for. So if you're doing the Serie A, for example, you're going to miss out some of the big players from Juventus, unless you're investing to complete it, obviously. You're going to miss out some of the bigger players from maybe clubs like Napoli, AC Milan, Roma, dependent on what's available. If you're doing Bundesliga, you're going to invest in absolutely everything, leaving out potentially Dortmund, Bayern Munich, possibly a couple of the other smaller clubs. But your main investment should be around these silver players. You saw tonight when it was released that EA immediately increased the price ranges of these players. So they had a maximum of 10,000. Then when they released the La Liga Squad Builder Challenge, they increased this maximum prices up to, I think it was 35,000, just because they knew the demand was going to be there. Now, on the flip side of this, the Squad Builder Challenge for Suarez, it cost a hell of a lot of money to complete. The main fact that it's going to be so expensive is the Atletico team also requires an inform. So, if you're quick on checking the Squad Builder Challenge requirements when they come out, you could find that Atletico needs an inform in order to get the rating. Investing in any Atletico inform is going to make you an absolute fortune. We picked one up just now because it was one of the only players we needed, and we paid 98,000 for one. Massively overpaid, but there's a huge chance that these kind of players can go extinct. I really think that EA made a mistake with the requirements being like that. Now we're going to look at a couple of different methods that you can use upon release of the Squad Builder challenges. So let's imagine you haven't invested in them, or you have invested but you want to do a little bit extra. If we take PK as our example, at 13,500 he now has two cards on the market. Prior to this event he was going for about 8,000 coins. That's absolutely ridiculous. So the option we now have is sniping players like PK, for example, changing your filters to maybe mass bid on players. You can change your filters up so you can include more than one player in a sniping range. There's going to be so many of them flooded onto the market from investments or just people that have them in their clubs that if you're quick enough, you're going to find some great deals. You can instantly relist these cards for profit, and then you're going to be ahead of the game again, just from being aware of when a new Squad Builder challenge is released. Now, with investing, you don't always have to be super quick. So it took me a good hour and a half to complete. Now, with investing, you don't always have to be the fastest to make your coins and make your profit. So take the Gamero special inform card, for example, that's needed to complete the challenge. I didn't pick him up till maybe an hour, hour and a half after the Squad Builder challenge was released. I was really late for this because EA released it at a weird time. If we search for 100,000 now, he's completely extinct. We have to raise the price cap up to 130,000 just to find 3 of his cards. This seems like he's probably reached his peak, but give it a couple of days and I can genuinely imagine all of these cards being completely extinct. There's still a huge amount of profit from investing in informs for Atletico Madrid because there's no other way to complete the challenge. People are gonna have to pick up these cards, and a lot of people have the coins and aren't fussed and will pay 200,000-300,000 coins for him. This is a prime investment opportunity at the moment, if you can afford it, obviously. So, if you were on Xbox, the other challenge they released was a Rio Ferdinand Legends Squad Builder Challenge. You needed 4 West Ham players of gold rarity for one, and 4 Manchester United players for the other. Now, during the time it was released, these players were going for at least 4,000 coins. Yet, literally every second, people were listing these players up for anywhere 600 up till about 2,500 that you'd still make profit on. If we look at the moment, 1,800 is the cheapest that they're listed for. You can still use this sniping filter. You can still mass bid on players. Let's see if we can get them now. We can't. You can still use this sniping filter, mass bid on players, and make an absolute killing just because the demand is there, but the supply isn't. They've all been used up recently in the previous squad builder challenges, so there's huge potential in these. Planning ahead doesn't just mean as soon as they release a squad builder challenge, you go out and you find investment opportunities. We also have weekly repeat events such as Marquee Matchups. Now, we all know these are released every week, and to start with, the requirements made investing absolutely amazing. Then EA completely dumbed down the requirements, so you only needed 1 player from either squad. Now, in the last couple of weeks, we've seen 1 of each squad plus players from the league come back. The requirements have become a lot more intense again. If you're smart enough, you can pick up these players about a week before on bidding, on just buying it now because the prices are so low usually. Hold on to them for a week and then make an absolute killing upon release. So, just to quickly summarize, what we want to be doing is anticipating future events EA are going to release, such as this Bundesliga SBC, the Premier League SBC, the Calcio A SBC, even the smaller SBC League ones if you want to go down there. There's not going to be quite as much demand for these unless the pack rewards are good. But on the flip side, you'll be able to pick up all of the players for next to discard as long as you're doing it early. You want to be thinking about the repeat events, so marquee matchups, and investing a good week before they come out. If you leave it to a couple of days before, you're more than likely going to be buying them at already inflated prices. So your profit margins are going to be slim, and if the requirements aren't what you need them to be, you could end up making a loss on them. You also want to be quickly aware of what's required for the squad builder challenges, and then you want to get straight to the transfer market. You want to be bidding, you want to be sniping, you want to be buying players lower than what you think they will sell for when the market slowly starts to settle. There's always a huge influx initially where everybody's just buying them at whatever price they are. You saw that in the last video I made when they released the team of the tournament for the African Cup of Nations. In that, we picked up a load of sellers for about 1,500 coins. About 15-20 minutes later, we sold them on for just over 3,000 coins. And then another 20 minutes later, they dropped back down to about 2,000 coins again. You've got to understand the windows. You've got to understand that when supply meets demand and when demand outweighs supply. And sometimes it's brief windows of each where everyone hasn't listed their cards up. So demand is massively higher than supply. But then more and more people become aware of what's the squad builder challenges that's been released, for example. They list their cards and then supply quickly starts to outweigh demand. So it's all about understanding the market, understanding how it changes, thinking ahead and anticipating what could be coming up.